right, so today's video, we're going to be watching another pro player today on T1. So this is from a match recently, T1 versus Cheeseburger. Yes, you heard it right. The other team's name is Cheeseburger. Really good team though. They've had a lot closer matches recently too than people expected. So it's really cool to see. But we're going to be watching a pro Wrecking Ball player today, Donghawk. T1 is a team that you always hear about CR and Falcons. A lot of people don't even realize. Stage 2, T1 won OWCS Korea Stage 2, right? So this is a team that is still constantly battling these teams and has really good matchups. So I wanted to see how a Wrecking Ball plays. Wrecking Ball is interesting right now because Wrecking Ball has a little bit of a momentum shift after they had the Wrecking Ball bug, but is also really good because of certain perks. And also, you get to see a little bit of Roadhog play during in this match too, to maybe counteract this Wrecking Ball play. So let's see how it goes, and we'll learn some stuff on Wrecking Ball. Because I also too would like to get a little bit better at Wrecking Ball. I love these engages already. See, like, that's what I do on Wrecking Ball, but I think I do it too late or too early, or maybe teams don't, like, rotate like this, and then I just get rolled. Meanwhile, some good rotations here. Chat, remember how I say sometimes in pro play, you know, whenever we watch Spectatings, that it's not that the things that happen in ranked games don't happen in pro play, just happen less? We all saw that. We all saw that. Okay? Listen, sometimes you gotta shoot in the deflect, okay? I put that as more of a very well-timed deflect by Dodo, more than it was, like, on Donghawk, but it happens. So, I do want to show something here, chat. The reason why the team fight is happening over here is because what Cheeseburger as a team has decided is that there's no point to just fight in the neutral middle here when the point is not unlocked yet. So what you do is you rotate to this side of the map, and then you slowly take the map over. So, how often, chat, do you get into ranked against a dive comp? Have everybody run this way, filter into this part of the map, and then just battle each other, and that's that. You get what I'm saying? Like how often do you see that happen? So, the idea here is that you basically just stay over here against their dive comp. You play stacked in this room, and then as the point goes there, you can have, for example, like Argon can go and take a duel on the outside there, and you basically, like, slowly, methodically take the map away. This is what you do when you're going to run these type of comps. It's not my favorite play style, but in pro play, it works so well. Getting your teammates to do this in ranked and do it correctly can be really tough, but that's why you're seeing a little bit of a different play. And this is also why pro play can be so different sometimes than, like, ranked, because getting your teammates to commit to being able to go to this small area and hide is tough. So what's the difference between fighting in that tiny room versus the other? Because if you're in the open, the dive targets will be able to get aggressive on you, right? Like, you can't, like, there's so much more room to work with, but when you're a Genji Tracer and you're in this room against a Roadhog and, like, all of this, like, chip damage, this is how, like, a Tracer falls over right away. This is how, you know, you can't have your Wrecking Ball engage. Like, what kind of pile drive are you going to do in this room, right? It's impossible. So the Wrecking Ball loses value. So it's literally taking away value and giving your teammates time to hopefully make a play. And that's why it's happening. Yep. So basically, you're removing value from what their comp is, and you know T1, very much like CR, right, is gonna run Wrecking Ball. Like, this is a planned strategy by, you know, by Cheeseburger, who is willing to run a little bit more of what you consider off-meta stuff to be able to counter. You know, I always say, like, sometimes teams will play into other teams' strengths rather than look at what they can do to create a weakness there, and this is, you know, this is creating a slight weakness for T1, where it's not that they can't win, and then obviously T1 is probably gonna win, I mean, obviously, but it's more like you're just making it difficult and you're giving them a change of pace strategy. So far it's been good. Wrecking Balls, I love these rotations by Donghawk. You're gonna see a lot of Wrecking Ball players have good survivability. Really well played. I love that. Yeah, we've just seen a few players like that. It used to just be like Wrecking Ball one tricks, and then became like really good pros of that. I'm just trying to see like what the neutral is. Okay, one thing I always struggle with personally when I play Wrecking Ball is what do I do in the neutral? Do I want to hide as Tracer? Like, you know, you want to play hide and seek? Do you do poke damage? Where do you set up? So like, I'm learning here on how to properly deal with this. Also, is the boop still a little bit scuffed on Wrecking Ball? Because I remember when I was watching a little bit of this match, I saw a Farmer playing really close in the sides here. And, like, I felt like the boop wasn't able to get anybody. See? See that? It's so funny. They fixed it? Okay. Do you see that right there, by the way? Like Hog, you can't boop Hog off. Hog went 2 feet. And that's not with that's with the tank passive. That's not with the bug. That's with the tank passive. Yep. So that's why it's really cool to see that strategy, is like recognizing that tank passive and then just sitting there. Yep. A lot of rotation around. As you notice, never like hard feeded, never like trying to overgo for that kill, right? I think sometimes on Wrecking Ball, I will try to finish the elim, and I need to recognize that just being alive as Wrecking Ball is probably more important than the off chance I get in the limb, but traded on. You know what I mean? Good luck. Getting stunned, CC'd, still has, yeah, okay. Great help by the team there. As I say that, yeah, just play to get out. Yep, exactly what you see. See, I recognize that type of Wrecking Ball gameplay outside of the smooth movement, getting the health pack, and surviving part, but... Okay. So they know Wrecking Ball's up here. I want to see what happens here in the neutral. Neutral, by the way, you'll hear me mention neutral. It's when there's nothing happening. There's no ultimates. You're not having, like, a, like, solidified team fight in certain spots. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a little bit different than what you normally see in these type of situations. There you go. Nice play. So you see how, like, the whole team's there, but then takes the engagement outside here again? Good play, but I gotta give credit to Cheeseburger. Their positioning's been, like, really strong for playing against this comp. Keep in mind, like, historically, Wrecking Ball is, like... And I can't speak for every Wrecking Ball player, but most Wrecking Ball players want to have a control map, right? Like, most control maps, 2 out of the 3 maps, are really strong for Wrecking Ball. Really strong for Wrecking Ball. It's really cool to see how teams play against that, where, like, Wrecking Ball is already such a, like, a really good hero. It's just cool to see, like, how Cheeseburger's approaching this, because T1's a great team, by the way. To reiterate, T1 is really good. So, did Wrecking Ball is nerfed on push? It used to be good on push early Overwatch too, but definitely a little bit different in how you approach it now. That's why you see teams opt on some subs sometimes, depending on, like, you know, what bans happen, but yeah. Bubby, thanks for the 20 months to Prime, so thank you. Appreciate it. Meldacast, thanks for 22 months to Tier 1. So, using the ult there on the point because it's last team fight for both teams. And actually, you know, it's funny because, like, I didn't get to watch this match. I didn't know that Cheeseburger was going to win this first round, do they? That's even more, I'm even more curious on that one now. Good survivability here. I love that movement. If you're wondering how to do that, you see how the Wrecking Ball, like, did that, like, self jump? I got better at this now. When you do that, go at, like, a slight angle. That's what Wrecking Ball players taught me. And maybe they didn't use the tech here. We'll see. I can't remember. Let me see. Yeah, they kind of use it. So, like, you basically go at an angle. So, like, watch, like, the slight angle. See how, like, the Wrecking Ball goes at, like, just a very small angle to the right? When you do that, that's apparently, like, the secret to getting that done consistently is just a small angle to, like, whatever way you're going. It will give you, like, enough momentum to go into the air, and then you can pile drive. Like, if you go straight up to a wall, and I try to do that tech, it never works. But if I just, like, move my mouse slightly to the right or left, like, you know how, like, okay, if it's like this, and you just go a little bit this way, you'll get momentum up. And it's not going to happen the whole time, but then as you get better at it, you basically, like, you can do it, like, 100% of the time, as long as the wall, like, allows it. Most Wrecking Ball players know that, right? Now, obviously, we're not seeing Wrecking Ball on this map. Remember how I said earlier Wrecking Ball was good usually on 2 out of 3 control maps? This is Control Center, right? Control Center's not good for Wrecking Ball. You don't have much space to work with. I mean, you can, like, this part of the map is really high roof, so you don't have as much spots. You're kind of stuck here. It just isn't a good Wrecking Ball map. So this is what I meant where, you know, while Wrecking Ball players love control maps, there is a world where 2 out of the 3 maps work, 1 doesn't, and this is the one. So this is where, you know, if you were Cheeseburger in this situation, you're feeling pretty good going to the second map. But they're running the Roadhog against an Orisa, so I expect to see a swap. What, Hazard or something, maybe? I don't know what the bans were. I didn't see what the bans were going into this, so. Obviously, Orisa's good against Hawk here. Now, this was the same day that Roadhog, like, this is like, Roadhog was already buffed at this point. Roadhog just got a recent one. You just started playing Overwatch recently and you play Splat? That's good. Yeah, good job. So you're like brand new. That's really good. A lot of running around chasing there. This was an interesting one because, like, I feel like as Orisa here, I kind of ended up working, but it gives me an idea of how I should play my Orisa sometimes. I can't believe that T1 actually clutched that. I thought Cheeseburger was going to take the point, but a lot of running in circles here. Yep, just getting on the Hog. Man, Hog has some survivability here, chat. This is pro play here. And that Hog survived for that long. Holy crap. Holy crap. I'm loving this so far, though, like this gameplay. Heck yeah, I'm glad to hear you enjoy. Let's go. Malga swap makes sense. The Hog would be bad against the Orisa, even with that survivability. You just like, you're basically running in circles. So, here we go. Oh, God. Ooh, what a huge play. Again, I'm glad you enjoy. I love to hear it. And some of this Orisa gameplay is, it's Orisa. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, not much analysis I can do here. It's just, this is like kind of just a chill moment, you know? Very chill. I honestly, the more I've been watching these OWCS VODs, I need to start doing more of these. I'm realizing that as we go. Because, like, I'm learning so much for just myself, too. That, like, this is gonna make my spectatings better too. Just learning like some things that maybe I've, you know, I don't scrim or anything. So like, sometimes, you know, you'll fall behind a little bit on the playstyle aspect of what you're supposed to do because you get so much into the ranked like mindset sometimes. So like, it's good for me as like a refresher also. Yeah, you're just holding the choke wait for something to happen. Like, you notice how like, okay, a problem I run into, and I don't know if anybody else has this, is like sometimes I feel like I have to do something when I'm playing Overwatch. Like, if I'm not doing something, then I'm just not doing anything. And what I'm realizing here is, like, you can still kind of just sit there and hold your button down and not, like, run into their team. And that's kind of what we just saw here from Donghawk. Like, it wasn't like we saw anything spectacular on Orisa. It was just like, wow, you hold your button down and you spam some damage randomly and you can just sit there, right? Me, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Do I need to go for backline? Do I need to be aggressive? Do I need to run in? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? And then, like, it's cool to see that even in, like, the pro play, sometimes, like, you're going to be in those, like, neutral moments of doing nothing, and, yeah, just spam some damage in, you know? Like, just... Like, this was a rough round for Cheeseburger. They got nothing going here because they basically had a strategy going in that they were going to play against a Wrecking Ball, and it didn't go as well. I imagine we're going to see a Wrecking Ball swap again, but again, I haven't seen this match. It might just stay in Orisa because of the Roadhog. There might be a strategy here where you end up just doing, like, a TP strat and then staying on this. Like I said, I didn't get to watch this match. Yep, there it is. Nope, Wrecking Ball. So remember what we said earlier, 2 out of the 3 maps are good for Wrecking Ball? This is another example of that, so. Doesn't take the TP. All right, Donghawk, I'm loving this gameplay so far because that's me too on tank. I have mobility, I'm using that mobility. Technically, you don't have to take the TP as Wrecking Ball, but it's just funny because, like, I wonder if there's like a timing on that where does Wrecking Ball get there quicker if you just don't take TP? Probably not, right? You take TP and then grapple, but maybe you want to, maybe the cooldowns align with like a bridge boop. But yeah, this is, I would say this is probably one of this is one of Wrecking Ball's best maps for controlling like the map. Like, you can control both sides of the bridge, you can move people off. So we'll see. There you go. In the circles. Oh, also, a little bit of a note here. You notice the Wrecking Ball took the perk with the pile drive. There's been a lot of question about, like, will Wrecking Balls use the anti-CC perk? A lot of the really good pro Wrecking Ball players don't need that perk. I think that was a really good ranked update perk, but, like, as of right now, with, you know, the Wrecking Ball's not worried about it. And you do see Cheeseburger make a swap. I love this rotation around. This is really aggressive Wrecking Ball play. See, this is something that I think I probably struggle with on Wrecking Ball, is just knowing that I can go into their spawn, and that, like, the idea is not about kills, it's about making them turn around. Sometimes that 4 to 5 second difference can be a make or break in a game. So that's really, really cool there, where, like, it's showing me that I can be a little bit more aggressive. Would I take the perk if they Ana? Probably not. I think, like, I mean, maybe, I guess, like, the theory there is, so if Groggy's still around, maybe you look at the Ana and, like, be like, okay, if Ana has Groggy, then you take that one. Groggy's the one where, like, you get, what, slowed and, like, slept, or, like, off the sleep or something and, like, some damage. So, like, that's a good question. I'm going to assume that probably not. I think in pro play, I think the Wrecking Ball trusts their gameplay enough to know that, like, they can survive that. And, like, I don't think, like, especially on this map, I don't know if, like, there'd be enough follow-up from the other team, because, like, if you're running Genji Tracer and use Groggy or Wrecking Ball, would the other team even allow, like, the Wrecking Ball just to be there? I don't think so. So I don't know. I think in pro play you still might see the Wrecking Balls lean towards the pile drive perk, but if teams start to go heavy CC, then I can see that perk swapping. Yeah. So it's hard to say. Yeah. Somebody brought up that, and I did see that too. I saw that during the CR match, actually, where what teams are doing now is they're waiting for Wrecking Ball to pick their perk, and then if Wrecking Ball doesn't pick that perk, they go into a CC comp. Risky sometimes, right? Like, because getting your second perk it can take a while, but, like, but it's on a bad strategy if it's a long map, right? Maybe like a flashpoint or something, or I guess you could do it during this too. Like, if Wrecking Ball takes this perk, you go Somber after, so it is a viable strat. What if Wrecking Ball waits too? Then it's just a mind game at that point. I mean, I would say it's better to not have to switch to Somber and make the Wrecking Ball not pick that second perk for, like, more control in the air than it is to, like, you know what I mean? So, like, it would probably go in favor of the team that's not doing that, right? Yeah, a lot of backline pressure here from T1. It's been really, really nice to see. But nice shot. They don't pick perks the entire map. I mean, you could do that. I mean, there's a viable option of doing that. I don't think that will happen, though. I think a lot of the time in pro play, like, teams just they basically trust their skill set of, like, they've been playing Wrecking Ball for years against the best players in the world. Generally, at that point, you know how to, like, self-sustain, and that is why it's a huge part. But really, really good job there by Donghawk. I mean, honestly, like, from a mechanical point of view, you can see the mechanics. And I think the most important thing I picked up from Donghawk here was, and I don't know if anybody else got this vibe, just being available for your team at all times is the best way to play Wrecking Ball. Didn't go for too many, like, individual plays, didn't hard feed, wasn't getting 5 at a time, but was always involved in a team fight and was always available when needed, right? And I think that's what I learned from this, is, like, availability is so key. And that was what was... Sometimes I need to remind myself that on Wrecking Ball, is that while securing a limb is important sometimes, you don't have to always go for that. And I think that's what we saw, was being annoying, rotating around the map, you know, going for boops, making some backline plays, helping the team if necessary. Like, it was just, sometimes I need to remind myself that you're just getting CC out. That was really good to watch. So, yeah, if you enjoyed that, let me know. Let me know what other players or heroes you would like to see be played in pro play. Obviously, not every hero's being played, so it needs to be, you know, I don't think we're going to see much hog outside of what we just saw there from Farmer, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, let me know. And, yeah, you can leave it in the comments. Hope you enjoyed. We'll have more videos to watch. Check them out. And hope you all have an amazing day/night.